All right, guys, welcome to our executive leadership training. Super excited to be on with you guys. Thank you for joining us on a busy Tuesday, a couple weeks before Christmas. There's a lot going on. Again, what we do during the next couple weeks will absolutely prepare us to launch our business into January. So if we sit around and do nothing, which is really easy to do that right now, is sit around and do nothing and check out and not get on trainings and all of this stuff. It's essential that we keep moving if we want to keep moving in 2018. So that's why we're continuing these calls and we're staying on track. Before we get into today's topic of just understanding, I really want to go over rank advancements because that's the number one thing that's going to grow your team is getting your people paid and in the process getting yourself paid. And I find when I connect with leaders, a lot of times they're still really confused about the ranks. And if you don't have a clear vision of what you then it's harder to reach that. Would you guys agree? If you don't really fully understand the big picture of it, then you're not really going to maybe push yourself a little bit further. Or some people are really close to the next rank and then they kind of put the brakes on and then their business starts to kind of go down from there. So we want to always be pushing to the next level, whatever that looks like in our business. But before we do that, I just got this new planner and I really love it. It's called the High Achievers Playbook. And this is specifically for network marketing professionals. And it's I like it because it's a blank planner. So it's not, there's a calendar in the back, but you actually have to physically write all the dates in and stuff, which works well for my life and my husband's schedule and stuff. But I opened the beginning pages the other day and there's these great, little nuggets, and it's from The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino. And so I just wanted to read you guys the first little bit. I'm not going to read both pages because it's kind of long, but I'm going to read you the first. So right when you open it, it says persistence at the top. And then there's all these little segments of the book, The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino. And it says, I will persist until I succeed. In the Orient, young bulls are tested for the fight arena in a certain manner. Each is brought to the ring and allowed to attack a picador who pricks them with a lance. The bravery of each bull is then rated with care according to the number of times he demonstrates his willingness to charge in spite of the sting of the blade. Henceforth, I will recognize that each day I am tested by life in that like manner. If I persist and if I continue to try, I continue to charge forward, I will succeed. Number 2, I will persist until I succeed. I was not delivered into this world in defeat, nor does failure course in my veins. I am not a sheep waiting to be prodded by my shepherd. I am a lion, and I refuse to talk, to walk, and to sleep with the sheep. I will hear not those who weep and complain, for their disease is contagious. Ooh. Let them join the sheep. The slaughterhouse of failure is not my destiny. You guys, I read that and was like, I love that. Okay. Number 3, the prizes of life are at the end of each journey, not near the beginning, and it is not given to me to know how many steps are necessary in order to reach my goal. Failure I may still encounter at the 1,000th step, yet success hides behind the next bend in the road. Never will I know how close it lies until I turn the corner. Always will I take another step. If that is not avail, I will take another and yet another. In truth, one step at a time is not too difficult. Awesome. Love that too. Number 4, henceforth I will, his writing is like, this is like old school, right? I mean, this is like back in the day language, but it's still exactly what we need to hear right now in today's society. Henceforth, I will consider each day's effort as but one blow of my blade against the mighty oak. The first blow may cause not a tremor in the wood, nor the second, nor the third. Each blow of itself may seem trifling and seem of no consequence. Yet from childish swipes, the oak will eventually tumble. So it will be with my efforts of today. I will be likened to the raindrops which wash away the mountain, the ant who devours a tiger, the star which brightens the earth, the slave who builds the pyramid. I will build my castle one brick at a time, for I know that small attempts repeated will complete any undertaking. Okay, last one. I will never consider defeat, and I will remove that from my vocabulary, such words and phrases as quit, cannot, unable, impossible, out of the question, improbable, failure, unworkable, hopeless, and retreat. For those are words of fools. I will avoid despair, but if this disease of the mind should infect me, then I will work in despair. I will toil and I will endure. I will ignore the obstacles at my feet and keep mine eyes on the goals above my head. For I know that where dry desert ends, green grass grows. I think those are so powerful. There's a whole nother page. If you haven't ever read The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino, really good. I might bring it up to Kathy to put on our book club list. I have it in my library somewhere, and I feel like I've read portions of it, but I can't recall a time reading the whole book. So it's on my list to read because I thought those were so, so powerful. And that really brings us into the topic of today, which is building that executive leadership team. Everyone that's jumping on these calls every other Tuesday, I know that you guys have a burning desire in your heart to create an executive team, or you wouldn't waste your time. You wouldn't listen to these recordings. You wouldn't be plugged into the group to the level that you are. So I really acknowledge all of you. And just know that there's always challenges. I train on that a lot because it's so easy to get blindsided by a setback and think it's a sign that this isn't for you, or think it's a sign that you're not good enough, or think it's a sign that isogenics isn't the real deal, or network marketing isn't for you. Like when you feel those moments of uncomfortability, that's when you're actually growing and expanding. And that's the only time you can really push to the next level, because guess what? When you hit the next level, you'll be comfortable there for a little bit, and then you'll have to grow outside of that again. So it's a continual process. But when you're thinking about rank advancements, write down, if you're taking notes, write down the current rank that you're paid as. Not the rank that you've hit once or twice, but when you log into your back office, what does it say? Okay. And then I want you to write down the rank that you are committed to achieving by January 1st. Not by the end of 2018. We talked about that last week, on one of the calls, what's our big vision and all that stuff. But what is a small, tangible goal? So maybe it's just to get back to your paid as rank. Okay. Maybe it's not a huge rank advancement, but in the next couple of weeks, maybe you were manager, maybe you're not manager anymore. Maybe you were consultant, maybe you're not consultant anymore. Maybe you were director and maybe you're not director anymore. Wherever that is, or you were executive, now you're not executive, wherever that is. What's your current rank and what rank do you commit to working towards? Even if you don't hit it, you guys, what are you working towards by January 1st? How do you want to start the new year? And for those of you that are registered for NYKO, what rank do you want to actually walk into that event as? Because that's a huge, the pain of staying stuck. There's a huge motivator in not wanting to be where you are, right? So we can use pleasure and we can use pain to reach our goals. Now, a lot of people want to focus on the pleasure. What's the money? What's the next bonus? Whatever that looks like. But what's the pain? Like, let's take a step back and focus on what is the pain that you will experience staying the current rank that you are, because there will be some sort of pain in staying where you are. So what I mean by that is that there's never, anytime you reach for anything, there's going to be two goals, two motivators. There's going to be a positive motivator and most likely a negative motivator. Now, it will depend on the circumstance, but if someone told you that you had to write a check to the company that you despise the most in the world. So think about a company that you just would never donate money to. You can't stand them. They do terrible things. Maybe it's ExxonMobil or Monsanto or I don't know, whatever, Merck. Mine would be Merck, okay? And you would never write a check to that organization. You would never want to donate your hard-earned money to this profit center that does harm to people, okay? Whatever that looks like. I want you to think about your goal that you have in Isogenics right now. If you don't hit it by the time that you give yourself, you have to write a check.
You froze, Brittany. Can you hear us?
Let's see if she hops back on. In the meantime, just you guys both already have which organization you would loathe to send a check to. All right. Let's see if she's hopping back on. Hey. That failed too. Okay, so we're just going to continue on. Basically, we were discussing how badly we wanted to achieve our next rank, and I have to think. I have to put my phone down. Okay, so what I got out of that is that currently I'm at associate. And so for me, I got to a place in my organization, in my business, and I'm just going to share where I'm at in hopes that if anyone else is going through this, they have that fire to stay on and not get, I guess, sad that all their hard effort and everything, we got to kind of look into why we're back where we were or whatever it is. So for me, I know that the things that are going to propel me to the right, rank is going to be what I'm attracting right now. And a couple months ago, I wasn't attracting the right group. I wasn't attracting the right people. And so I was talking to Brittany and I said, where I want to be. Okay. Hey, Britt.
I'm back. I don't know. It won't let me back in. So.
No, that's fine. I was just sharing where I currently am and taking that and just being humble about it and knowing that if I want to grow my business the right way, I'm going to attract a whole different group of people. And they're going to be people who aren't going to fall off. And they're going to be people who, are going to see this Emily, believe in this Emily, and want to link arms with this group that we have because I'm producing the results that I talk about, And so I was sharing with the girls that I'm back at associate and I'm okay with that because I know that for me, I want to start this the right way and I'm not giving up. And I know that that's my clear vision. So rather than get down on myself or go, I'm an associate, whatever it is, it's just a story and I can change it by taking action every single day, even when I don't want to. So, one thing for me, and it has nothing to do with network marketing, is I'm training twice a week with a personal trainer and I'm really watching when I have emotional feelings. What do I reach for? What do I go for? What does my brain want to do? And what do I know won't get me anywhere? So I've really been focusing on that and not listening. Joe Rogan put a post up on Instagram and he said, I woke up today. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to wait. I didn't want to train. I was kind of having some icky thoughts and just going through it, right? As human beings, we all have those moments. We all have those days, no matter what's going on. You can get thrown a bunch of monkey wrenches and you're just having a day where you want to check out. Well, he said, I thought to myself, I could do two things. I could listen to my inner bitch, excuse my language, but I can listen to my inner bitch and go down that hole. Or I can, persevere and move past that and just do it. Even if it's uncomfortable, even if I don't want to, even if I'm going to cry the entire session long, I'm going to do it. And what happened was after the session, I was like, that's it. I want to keep going, Maybe it's because I took power right before, but I was like, I really wanted to keep boxing and I wanted to keep, and I found something that I love to do. So anyway, my point to that is doing something again after a year of not doing anything physically has changed my mindset to where I'm now, when people post, when people put up inspirational things, my mind's like, yes, I totally get it again. this is where I was last year, and now I've found myself again. And so I know that anything moving forward is going to be super productive and super inspiring, and just I'm back in it, you know, and it feels so good. And it's really hard to say that I was out of it. Even though I was still plugged in, I was checked out, you know. And so I think for me, seeing 2018, I just see it's going to be uncomfortable at times, but I'm going to move through these ranks and I'm going to become executive. And I know that's my purpose. I know that's my vision. And I want to help as many other women or men, you know, find that road and just take it. And so I don't know, I'm fired up.
Does anyone notice a difference in how clear Emily's become in the last couple months? Do you see that? Or did you see her? She's like, I'm going to be executive. Like there was no disconnect. She just had clear. Thank you, Em, for sharing. And I'm sorry, guys, I got booted off for a second. I'm on my phone now. It just seems no matter where we go, technology problems follow us, right? But we overcome, we persevere. So going back to the pain versus pleasure, I want you guys to think about what the pain is for you. So maybe it's not being able to afford the things that you want for your children, not being able to take vacations, not being able to save or tithe properly. Maybe it's just the feeling of wanting success for yourself, and not having to, you know, depend on maybe your husband's income for that, or whatever that is for you. What's the pain that's going to propel you into taking action even when you don't want to, like what Emily just described? And what did you say, Em? Check the bitch, or what did you say? What was it?
You can listen to your inner bitch,
okay,
which just wants to hurt you and just wants you to fail and wants you to take the easy way out. Or you can persevere and push against that, and it's going to be painful, but until it becomes a habit and a good habit, and you know, that's that. But yeah,
I love that inner
Rogan thing. It's actually really super amazing. And I'm helping someone else with their social media, who's a personal trainer, and he showed me this and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so inspiring. I love that. So I'm going to post it later.
Put it in the group. Yeah,
I
like it. That's
awesome.
Going to be our little motto. So that's what we have to tell ourselves. Everybody has little mottos. Everyone has little, no matter what level of success people are there's huge amounts of challenges every single day. And I always go back to the challenges that Jim and Kathy Coover probably have on a daily basis, but you never see it on their social media, right? You don't see it on their faces when you walk into an event. You don't feel that something's wrong, even though there might be some chaos going on at corporate headquarters. Like all of that's going to happen, but it's the energy that you step into that you continue. So in terms of the ranks, I just want to go over really quickly, like understanding that with managers, you share, they share, right? That means that you've enrolled a couple people who've enrolled a couple people. Now we know it used to be consultant had to be one on the left, one on the right, 100 BV each. But now Isagenix made it a little bit simpler where you can actually have a couple people, like maybe 50 BV, 75 BV, 25 BV. As long as it all adds up to 100, you are paid as consultant. So you can have a couple on your left, a couple on your right, wherever they are. You have to have one on each side though, at least one on each side for consultant rank. So that's important as you're developing consultants, you're building consultants to your executive leadership stance. You want to understand that you don't want people just building down one leg, right? Manager, once you hit manager, that's the you share, they share, and they've completed that. So they've gotten their couple of people as well. That can be down one leg. So you can actually have two consultants down one side and you will still be paid as manager rank. It does not have to be left and right or right left. It doesn't matter. But moving forward from director, which is our next rank advancement, that's 6 people. So 6 friends that have gotten a couple of friends, they become consultants. You have personally developed 6 consultants. You have to have at least one of those consultants on one leg and the other 5 can be spread out. It doesn't have to be even. It does not have to be 3 and 3. It can be 1 and 4. It can be 2 and 3. It doesn't matter. Does that make sense? So I was talking to one of our top leaders on the team the other day, and I realized that she wasn't sure. Like we just have gone over this, but maybe she missed the training call or whatever. So I think it's really important for us to understand because we can go down into our organizations and we can see who's close. We can see who's maybe a half consultant, who's enrolled one person, That would be a phone call. You'd want to reach out and ignite them to enroll their second person to get that $50 consultant bonus, and ask them questions. Would they like to get their products paid for? Would they like to assist others? Would they like to partner with you? So there's basically 3 areas that people would fall into. One is the I don't want to say selfish product user, but one is just the person that they just don't want to be bothered, right? They don't want to share. They don't want to talk about it. They just want to consume the product. We went over these numbers last week, but that's 70% of your organization. People that don't want to be bothered. You're going to reach out. They're not going to call you back. They're going to be, and then you're going to be on the other end of the line going, what's wrong with me? I'm not a good leader. They're not calling me. No, they're 70%. Okay. So the 70%, they don't want to be bothered. They just want to eat the food. Let them be. Let them be. Okay. Then we're going to have the other people that just want to share with a few, right? Those are our sales force. That's about, what was it? Like 5%, I think. I don't have the stats in front of me, but we went over this on the training call the other day. Those people are going to get the couple of people. They might go consultant. They might go out of consultant. They're the poppers. They pop in and out. You see them. Everybody has them on their team. Oh, they're consultant this week. Oh, no, they're not next week, and they don't really care. They could have 100,000 BB banks. They don't really care. That's the 5%. The 2%, 2 to 3% are the people that are going to want to enroll between 6 and 9 people, the 10, the super influencers, all of those super recruiters. Those are the people that are going to want to go to director, executive, and beyond. So you have to identify where your people are at. And then if you don't have any super recruiters, like I had a phone call the other day with a leader, I don't have any super recruiters. Well, go out and find some. Like they might just magically appear, but you'd probably have more success if you actually got into action and started to look for people that have that personality, that have that drive, that are like you, that they like to talk to. Some people don't like to talk to people, you guys. You have to respect that. Network marketing is not for everybody. If you pitch it that way, you will shoot yourself in the foot every time. It is not for everyone. It is for the select few people that find value in this profession of what we do. So it's identifying your leaders within your organization. And like Em said, we've looked at our organization and I'm like, babe, you're rebuilding. Like, don't worry about the people that are sitting there doing nothing. Go find new people. It's time to bring fresh energy into your team. So if you're feeling stuck, it means you don't have fresh energy coming in. So that's a good time to go back to just the basics of recruiting, connecting, putting yourself out there, saying hello, being friendly at Target and checking out your grocery store, whatever. In the next couple weeks while you're shopping, think about where you are at and think about how many people are working Christmas part-time jobs that really, really feel drawn and their purpose is to go work a Christmas part-time job. Do you think that that's the case? Or do you think that they absolutely have to work a Christmas part-time job to put food on the table for their kids, to put presents under the tree, and they are desperately praying for a better way, but they don't know because you don't talk to them in the checkout line. They don't know about your opportunity because you don't open your mouth. So you have to put yourself in that place of looking for the people that are open, that are willing, that are ready. Now, what they do with it, you have to start to practice detachment. And this is huge for building an executive team and understanding ranks. Do not be attached to people's outcomes. None of it. Don't be attached to anyone, and don't put your success basket into their basket. Like, your success is not because of their success. Like, you have to understand that if they do nothing, that doesn't mean you do nothing. You have to make the conscious decision, right? So when you are going then towards executive, once you hit director, people go, oh, whew, I hit director. I got my bonus. I got $750. Oh, and I made $600 for consultant, $350. Oh, so I'm sailing now. My network marketing business is just going to produce itself, and I can sit on a beach and drink a Mai Tai. Like, no, you hit director, you run to executive. Run as fast as you can, because that means you have 6 consultants. You only need 4 more to hit executive. So you look at your tree, you figure out where you're imbalanced in terms of going executive. If you have 4 on the right side and you have 1 on the left and you're director, where do you need to put your other people? Down that left leg.
Britt, how many do you need for director?
Director is 6. So
6 consultants.
1 on one side. Yeah, I'm going to go over that right now. 1 on one side and 5 on the other. That's what I was saying. Director can be split up. You have to have 1 on one side and you can have 5 on the other. You can have 3 and 2. It doesn't matter, but there needs to be at least 1 consultant on one side and the others can be split up. Now for executive, you have to have 5 on the left, solid 5, and 5 on the right, solid 5. You cannot have 10 down one side. You can't have 9 and 1 down one side. You have to have 5. It has to be even, 5 and 5. or you will not be paid as executive. But you guys, break it down into something that's tangible. How many people is that? It's 10 humans. It's 10 people
So true.
that fall into the sales category, not the super recruiter category. They fall into the salespeople category. They're going to enroll one to three people in their lifetime. You're looking for 10 humans on this planet, and we have what, how many billion people do we have on the planet? 8 billion people. Do you think you could find 10 good ones that might find value in what you're doing, that might want to link arms with you? Like, it's not that hard, you guys. I don't mean to discount that it doesn't take hard work. It does. It takes focus and hard work, but don't make it harder than it is. Don't overcomplicate it. It is 10 people who got a couple of people. That's it. You start looking at it that way, you can start to pick out the people that you want to spend your time with. You have leaders on your team that are leaders, right? They're like, oh, I'm a leader. Okay, well, what are they doing? How do they spend their time? Are they showing up for calls? Do they call you back? Are they wasting your time when you do coaching calls with them? Are they complaining, justifying, whatever, putting blame on other people? Like, that's not a leader, okay? So you want to look for people that do not require your constant attention. Self-sufficient, independent, everyone on this line. So you guys are independent. Like, yes, you hop on training calls, you ask for my advice, but you are not dependent on me, right? You're independent. You're building your own CEO organization. So think about it this way: as you're building towards executive, who would you want in your inner circle mastermind? Maybe those people aren't in your life yet. Probably, I'm gonna assume that 60 to 70% of those people that are going to be your executive team, you haven't even met yet. They're not your neighbor. They're not your best friend. They're not your cousin. You haven't even met them yet, because you have to get into a very clear, conscious, vibrational frequency to attract them. And then they will literally start to, when you become that person and you keep getting into action, they will start to show up in your inbox. Now, that sounds woo-woo magical, but it's after you've put in the hard work. It's after you've gone to the networking meeting and talked to 200 people and everybody said no. Then guess what? You're going to get a yes in your inbox. It's going to pop up. Hey, Sophia, what have you been doing? I really want to check out what you're doing. I'd love to join you. Like, that's how it works, guys. But you might have to have 50 conversations that flop before you get the one that's going to raise their hand. It's just the law. As you go on with it, your law of averages will increase and your attraction factor will change. 100% it will change, but you have to be clear on who you are, what you're becoming, and who you want to attract, so that you can, like, I love what Emily said. She's an associate right now, and she's totally clear on that, because she realizes that the people that she drug into the business, right, before she drug them kicking and screaming, they're not her people. Those are not her people that are supposed to build with her. So she hasn't even met the people yet that she's going to, but she'll attract them now that she's clear on, you can't attract new if you're focused on the old. Does that make sense? It's very similar to what we've gone over when we're doing cleansing challenges. We have people clean out their closet and their clothes that don't fit them, and junk in a junk drawer and all that stuff. If you're surrounding yourself with block that moving, you can attract the new energy, right? You can't. And doesn't it feel different? Like, how many of you, when you clean your car, this is an analogy I'm going to give you. When your car is really dirty, you feel like it doesn't drive as well. Does anyone else feel that way? And then you wash it and you clean it and you're like, ooh, it's peppy. Like, it's like a different feeling, like their energy space, right? I'm not crazy. People don't, you feel differently when you're in a clean car than when you're in a dirty car, right? Your whole vibration is different. It's the same thing in your organization. Who do you need to clean out? Who do you need to release and let go? Who do you want to start to attract? You have to let go of the old that's not serving you to attract the new, okay? It doesn't mean like releasing people. I'm not saying releasing people and being mean to them, or what. I'm not saying that. I'm saying don't put pressure on people that aren't looking for you to help them. You have to detach from that outcome. I hear all the time, well, I want it so bad for them. Don't want it bad for anybody. Want it bad for you. Don't want it bad for anybody. Imagine if someone put pressure on you to do a business that you don't want to do, to take a product that you didn't want to continue taking. Like, how irritating would that person be in your life? Don't be that person to other people, right? Like meet them where they're at. If they want to be a product user on your team, awesome. Thank them for that. They're building volume. That's a volume. That's a base of your organization, the auto ships. Reach out to your clients and customers. Don't, tell them to join you in the business. Just say, thank you for your orders. I send emails all the time. Thank you so much for your order. I saw that you're consistent with your auto ship. I'm so proud of you. I appreciate your business and my organization. Like send those emails out. Thank your customers. Okay. So real quick, as we wrap up, I just want to, I can't read the chat. You want to read the chat in a second and tell me what somebody said? So as you are thinking about your 5 and 5, I want you to step into 2018 with a clear vision of who you are going to attract in 2018. Because if you don't know, you won't attract them, right? You have to be clear. So what type of person? What are their values, their core beliefs? How do they align with yours? Like you want to be very, very clear on who you attract into your business center. And I would recommend, we've talked about this before, but writing your ideal customer avatar and your ideal business avatar person into a little paragraph. My ideal business avatar is a woman aged 30 to 45 who wants to produce a 6-figure income or above. I'm just telling you mine. You don't have to write. This is just mine. Wants to produce a 6-figure income or above that has experience in running a business from home previously and who has also been successful in other enterprises and is looking for a new career change. Now, my avatar has changed from 2 years ago. Before, I was like, I want to work with stay-at-home moms ages 25 to 35 that want to produce an income from home because I wanted to help moms. Okay, I've done a lot of that, and I'm now looking for the woman that already has her stuff handled, that doesn't need me to spend 3 years with her teaching her how to run a business from home. I'm looking for the person that's a professional already that's just looking for a career change. Maybe she's in real estate, banking, finance, network marketing. Maybe she runs her own clothing company. I don't know what she does specifically, but I want a person that's already conscious in the mind of running a business, what that entails, and is wanting to just career change. That's who I'm currently attracting. And guess what, you guys? They're showing up in my team. Emily sees them, right? Do they show up? They show up. They show up. They show up because I'm very clear on who I want to work with. So that's my gift to you today is get so clear on who you want your 10 to be. Because guess what? Out of your 10, here's the reality. Here's the numbers. Out of your 10, 7 will do nothing. Out of your 10 consultants, when you go executive, 7 will do nothing. They might stay as consultant. They might drop off. 3 will produce. Out of the 3, your income will come from relatively one person. Think about that, you guys. Out of the 10 that you're going to attract, 7 will do nothing. They'll go consultant or they'll drop off. They might stay consultant, but they won't build. You'll go, why aren't they building? I'm executive now. They're consultant. They're supposed to build an organization. No, they won't because they're the 70%. Out of the 3, 2 of them will produce a little bit and 1 will be your top income earner. Those are the numbers. That's how it works. So that's how you can break it down. And so that's why we teach go to 20. Susan Sly teaches this, don't go to 10, go to 20. That was always my goal. The minute I got to 10, I was like, I'm going to 20. And I still consistently, Emily sees my back office. She knows that this is true. I have consistently anywhere between 17 to 22 consultants all the time, always. But 70% of them do nothing. 70% of them are not building huge organizations. That's okay. But as you increase your consultants, your organization is going to increase because there's going to sprout out a super recruiter. There's going to be someone that takes it and runs. There's going to be someone that doesn't require your constant attention that wants to be self-sufficient, okay? Megan's a perfect example. Megan, physical therapist, never done network marketing. She runs a very successful PT business from home with her 3 kids. She called me. She said, I'm ready to join you in the business. Now she's busting her butt doing her thing. Okay, Megan reaches out to me. We collaborate, but she's not dependent on me for her success. She's already committed in her mind. She has a map. She's a plan. She's organized. She's already a business owner. She just wants to change careers. Perfect example. Okay. Do you guys have any questions about that? Understanding the ranks, being really clear. If you don't understand executive, how are you ever going to get there? Right. So what questions can I answer for you in terms of placement, the placement tree, anything that we talked about so that you guys are crystal clear stepping into 2018?
I got my answer. So consultant, you need 2 people. For manager, you need those 2 people to have 2 people. And it can now be where you have just one person to your left, one person to your right. And if you want manager, it can even be two people on your right, as long as the other person to the left is bringing in 100 BV at least, so that your current manager, or current
Consultant. Yes.
and then can become manager.
Yes.
And then director, 6 consultants, and it can even be split up with 1 on the side and the 5 other on the right, or you can have 3 and 3. And then executive is 5 on left and 5 on right.
Correct. Correct. And do we stop at executive, or do we keep building to executive all the time over and over and over again?
Keep going, because those people could fall off, they could stop, they could do whatever, and you just have to keep going.
Yes. I never stop building consultants. I'm always actively building consultants. Always. I don't get bonuses for the consultants anymore. I've maxed out the comp plan in that way in terms of how many bonuses. But yeah. Awesome. I can't see anybody. So any other any other questions? Everybody's good?
Yeah, I think we are all good. Sophia had just posted, she loves that. Don't listen to your inner bee. And then she also had said, I would hate to send a check to Monsanto. Evil.
Totally. So here's what Eric Worre challenged us to do. Write a $5,000 check. We were supposed to write down the income that we wanted to achieve in the next calendar year. Then he had us cross it out. Actually, let's do that really quick. Write down the income that you would like to earn in the next calendar year in your enterprise. Okay. Does everyone have a number? Okay. Now cross it out and double it. How many people just got uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Cross it out and double it. And then he said, the pain that you have to focus on to achieve this goal is if you don't hit this by the end of 2018, you have to write a $5,000 check to the company that you hate the most. And there's a website called Stick It. You can go on Stick It. You upload your challenge for yourself with the money. They hold the money. And if you hit your goal, they refund you. If you don't, they send it to the company. That's so uncomfortable. Ooh. Or maybe we'll just put a wristband on our hand and slap it like this when we do. Maybe that's a little bit easier. But Either way, it's just a good visual of, are you going to do it for pleasure or for pain? And what's the pain that's going to propel you into action when you don't want to, when it feels comfortable to stay where you're at? Because we all have those days. We all have those moments. So stickit.com. Nobody wants to write a check to Monsanto. They're the devil. It doesn't have to be $5,000. It could be 500. It could be 100. I don't even want to give them $5. That would make me upset. Right? So think about that. And then whatever you just wrote down in terms of your income, double it, make that your goal, focus in on it. If your goals don't scare you, they're not big enough. Your goals should absolutely frighten the heck out of you. Okay. All right, guys. I love you. Thank you for being on.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Have an awesome day.